They have to get back to a final. You guys just talked about in the last segment Argentina winning back-to-back and really how difficult it is to do that. Well, France in this World Cup, they're looking to make it to their third straight final. Jimmy, how realistic is it that they can make it back to the final?
They'd only be the third country in the history of the competition to get to 3 straight finals. Brazil did it and 94, 98, and 2002, and they won 2 of those 3, and then Germans did it in the 70s, and they only won 1 of those 3. So it's not easy to do, but as Tony rightly suggested and explained, they've got the talent to do it. And they got a manager in Didier Deschamps who knows how to hit and press the right buttons. I'm still marveling at the fact of the last World Cup final when he basically acknowledged that he didn't start the right guys 30 minutes in and subbed 2 players in the 30th minute. That is incredibly bold, and that's somebody that's very confident in acknowledging they made a mistake, rectified it, and almost won that game despite that mistake at the beginning.
Well, you hope managers learn from some of their mistakes, and maybe today in their opening campaign for the World Cup, they picked the right 11 guys. Tony, take us through the projected starting lineup.
Yeah, and this is a guy that knows his team. Obviously, Mike Maignan at AC Milan, I get to watch him week in and week out. This season was very good. A year ago, I probably wouldn't have been as confident with him as goal because he didn't have a great year at Milan, but this year he absolutely did. Saliba, who's a Premier League winner. Upamecano, we've seen him and his athleticism. Theo Hernandez on that left-hand side with Koundé. These are guys that are going to get forward at every chance. Tchouaméni is a guy that locks it down. Rabiot might be a little bit of a surprise at this time because, again, a year ago, we weren't sure where Rabiot was with this national team. Great season. One of the highlights, if there was a highlight at Milan this year, it was Rabiot for me, along with Luka Modric, of course. But Dembele, we know what he can do. Mbappé is going to start there. Doué will be on the left-hand side. Olise, as good a season for a winger at Bayern Munich this entire year. He was outstanding, coming in off that right side onto that left foot. He's really good. We'll see some changes, I think, throughout the tournament at the winger position. That's been the conversation in and around France, just to keep them fresh. But again, that's why they have the roster. I was looking, we mentioned it, Thuram, Barkolo can come in on that left-hand side or the right. Mateta, who was outstanding in the midfield. You want to lock it down? How about you bring in N'Golo Kanté in, a World Cup winner, a guy that's done it all. So when you're talking about those types of players coming off the bench, I think you will see some rotation. This is likely the starting lineup against Senegal. But through this competition, Didier Deschamps, as Jimmy mentioned, knows this group, and I think we'll see some interchanging with these players. And here's the key. You don't see a drop-off, right, once you make changes, which doesn't always happen for teams.
As Tony just mentioned, Jimmy, there's probably 26 players you could pick to highlight.
Well, it'd be interesting if you put like the France's B team into the competition as well, just to see how far they could get. Right?
Yeah, I think they would make a pretty good.
They'd get out of the groups for sure, and then you'd be a threat in the knockout rounds.
Absolutely. Okay, so of the 26 players that we have on this roster, 11 starters, who are you watching? Because there's a lot we could pick.
Well, there's a lot, but I am going to go with Michael Olise. I thought he was fantastic for Bayern Munich. 25 goals and 28 assists in 57 games in all competitions. That's more than one goal contribution for every game. I mean, he was incredible, but he doesn't necessarily get the shine because you got Kylian Mbappé on the team. Oh, and by the way, you got Ousmane Dembele, who just won the Ballon d'Or on the team, and Desiree Doué has been killing it for PSG, and I think this is his opportunity. As crazy it might sound, because those numbers are absolutely ridiculous for Bayern Munich, that this could be a breakout World Cup for him. And what's been interesting is when they first brought him into the national team, he was playing underneath. He was a little bit more central as the 10. But when they put him out wide right and let him cut in on his left like he'd been doing successfully with Bayern, and they just did it against Northern Ireland in the last friendly, he had a hat-trick against Northern Ireland. He's got this ability. He seems to be up for any kind of challenge, doesn't feel pressure, and I expect him to have a big, big tournament.
I think along with potentially winning the World Cup, a guy like this, I mean, he's looking at Lamine Yamal and saying, you know what, I want to be recognized in that category. I think the World Cup for him, part of this is having the world look at him as potentially the best right winger in the world. And he's got a lot of competition in that position. But I would think that's part of his mission. What a fun player to watch.
He's a player that's also played in a couple different positions in years past, playing more centrally in the attacking midfield role. He's truly found a home in that right wing. Well, for Senegal, this is their projected lineup for the match today against France, Jimmy.
Yeah, so I'll just start here. The last 2 friendlies for Senegal have been pretty disappointing from their perspective. They lost to the U.S. 3-2. They had a pretty drab 0-0 draw against Saudi Arabia, and maybe not coming into this with maybe the momentum they would prefer. However, they are one of the dark horses to have a deep run. And this is a team you honestly wouldn't want to face going into the knockout rounds. You got a very experienced goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. Diarra plays for Monaco. What's interesting about him is he kind of started his career as an attacking player and likes to get up and down. And same with Diouf on the other side. They just really like to be involved. He plays for West Ham and had a good season, 5 assists. Niakhate's the old man in the group. He's 30. And you got Mamadou Sarr, who plays for Chelsea. He's only 20. So a lot of young players in this back line, and they're going to need some positional discipline to try to figure out how they're going to break down this France team. Ismaïla Sarr has been fantastic for Crystal Palace. You got Nico Jackson, gets himself in good spots. Doesn't always score. He had a great chance against the U.S. and blew that. Sadio Mané is a good story for me. 34 years old, was hurt for the last World Cup in 2022. We obviously know what he's done with Liverpool in particular. Excited for him to get that World Cup taste. So he's going to obviously have an impact, score 2 goals against the U.S. in that friendly. Idrissa Gueye is going to have to be very thoughtful about how they just manage. If these 2 guys are going to get forward, they have to sit because France is going to be able to hurt you in so many different ways. So the positional discipline and the team shape of Senegal not to get stretched is going to be really important. And I'm kind of curious to see how they end up playing. But this is a really talented young team with some wily veterans in Mendy and Mane and Niakhaté. And if they can just be really thoughtful and take their chances, because France is going to give them 1 or 2, they have to take their chances. We've seen teams throughout this tournament already that haven't really done that. And then Spain gets the 0-0. Uruguay can't beat Saudi Arabia. You're always kind of giving yourself a chance. So I'm hopeful that Senegal can put their best foot forward.
Tony, on this roster for Senegal, who are you rooting for?
Yeah, by the way, you had me on the Niakhaté. He's the old guy in the back at 30 years old. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I didn't know Jimmy picked the right winger on his side of things. I'm going to pick Ismaïla Sarr as well. Great season this year, Crystal Palace. A guy that, I think he's 28 years old. A guy that will take you on. He's electric. He plays with a little bit of freedom. You know, they win a trophy this year in Europe in the Conference League. And he's been sort of a breakout guy. We've been waiting for him for a couple of years. It's been the last 2 seasons where we've kind of seen Ismaïla Sarr just open up, if you will. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some players. But as much as we're going to look at this team and talk about Sadio Mané and sort of the old hat and you know, wanting to do something for him, I think this is a guy that can unlock this Senegal attack. I don't put him in the same category as Olise and Lamine Yamal and those types of players. But when you talk about this Senegalese side, I think he's a guy that can open up the game for them. So just looking to see what he can do.
If you go back to the starting lineups as well, I mean, you have Ismaïla Sarr, who's going to be lined up against, Teo Hernandez or Lucas Hernandez?
Yeah.
That's an area where he can exploit because either you can go with either Hernandez brother. They don't necessarily like to defend. They'll do enough just so they can go spring forward, but ultimately I think this will be a nice pocket of space for him to go. And if Nico Jackson can just keep the center backs occupied to create those pockets, then I think he can have a big game. 9 goals and 1 assist for Palace this year in all comps, and he's a special player, and I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah, a fun little 1v1 battle to watch. As brilliant as your analysis has been, the people on YouTube, they just want to know the bets. They want to know where they can put their money. They're asking for our John Buckets Eimer, our betting experts, so we got to bring him in. Hey, Buckets, welcome into the show. We are so good to have you with us. Oh, we got Freya,
more dogs on the show.
I'm bringing in the cute dogs so that people focus on that and forget the fact that I said Spain would score 6 goals yesterday. A little bit of a distraction tactic for everyone out there.
Buckets. Everybody was thinking the same.
Yeah, we'll let that one slide. We'll let that one slide. You have a chance to redeem yourself today with France-Senegal. What do you have for us?
All right, let's redeem ourselves with 2 bets on this match, and we're starting with a bet that is hitting at a weirdly high rate so far. In our first 16 matches, both teams' score has hit in 11 of those 16, and all 11 times it's cashed, it has been plus money, and we're getting plus odds again here at plus 105. I do agree with you guys that France is the better team, but Senegal is not a team you can take lightly. We saw yesterday, while there are favorites, there's really a chance for upsets in any of these matchups, and Senegal, with their kind of iffy back line and with France's attacking firepower, I don't think Senegal go into this matchup thinking, hey, we can keep this to a 0-0, we can keep this cagey, we can keep it close. If you're going to beat France, you got to score goals and you got to press, because France right now, they can score 2 or 3 against anyone. So I expect both teams to score, hit here at plus money, and if you want to get really crazy with it, you can even go France money line and both teams to score. That gets you up to plus 220 for even better odds. Then for bet number 2, you've already talked about this guy, Jimmy, so thank you for setting me up to make me look way smarter than I actually am. Micheal Olise to score or assist is playable. It's minus 120. It's a little bit of juice here, but this could have been minus 200, and I still would have said this is a must bet bet for me. He has been so good. And as a Bayern Munich fan, I've watched him all season long. I know what he is capable of. And he has the ability to score by himself. Or you've got Kylian Mbappé. You've got Desiree Doué. You've got Ousmane Dembele. You've got a wealth of talent around you that you can dish the ball off to. I just think it's weird that this is playable for a matchup where I think France are going to score 2 or 3 goals. You got to think that Olise is going to have some kind of contribution in a match this important.
Now, I love that buckets. I think the Olise bet, too, the goal or an assist is important. Olise has more assists than any other player over the last 2 years in the top 5 European leagues. So I like that bet a lot.
Jimmy, would you rather just take Olise, just the assists as plus 160 if you want to take the goal element out of it?
I would consider that just for the plus money, but I do think he has the ability, especially coming off a hat trick against Northern Ireland, to hit the back of the net.
Yeah. I agree. I think they're both good lines, but I'm expecting a 3-1 France score prediction we'll go with today.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.